Hello. Look at all that energy. Look at there. And who's in here? Who's saying hello? Come on. I love you. Yes, all kind of beauties in there. That purple energy is coming through. So good. And this light, every time I come here, there's stuff in this light. There's friendly beings, let's say. I can see one right there on the edge of the bush saying hi. There's lots of things and things I don't see until I watch it back. It reminds me of an eyeball, like a big eyeball, a big beautiful purple eye. Yeah, I guess the torch is what it's called. It's the big light for video, and I noticed when I cut it on just now that this has gotten much brighter just since I showed you guys. And see how that's so dark? It's not dark like that. So I'm like lost because I really don't know for sure that it's not being manipulated. There's one of those orange pockets showing up super good. And then as it's thick and orange there, okay, like a burnt sienna color. And it just stays not that bright, but it dissipates, but it's still, the light is very bright, it's just not as orange. And see how dark that is right there? That's not reality. Not the way I can see with my naked eye anyways. Anyway, and then it gets dark again right here. Not dark, but the color's vibrant. And then there's some light that shoots up in the sky right here that I'm never going to pick up. I didn't think I'd be able to pick that up. And I don't know that I'm not seeing with new eyes, you know? Like, I'm so new to this. I'm always drawn to this area. Alright, I'm going to walk down this way. It's actually sprinkling. And got orbs around me, but I can't pick them up except for on camera right now. I guess, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but I'm going to have to get a new phone. But, of course, I can't right now. But it just hurts because I won't be able to do my best work. Yeah, this is pretty gnarly over here. I would say it's beautiful, but I'm not really sure what all this light is about. I don't know if some of this isn't radiation pockets, but see that how there's a lot of meeting, and I notice like this right here where it meets at a point to cloud covers. Or look at this. This was that area we were looking at before. We were just getting the edge of it. Sorry, I was a little off kilter because I have to look around me. There's many puddles. And I have a hole in the bottom of my shoe that I just realized. So, anyway, it's gone into my sock. That smoke, there's smoke back there, too, from the paper mill, as you can see. I'll hone in on that. That right there is smoke. The rest of it, that's just cloud, you know. Of course, I'll have to back up for you to see. And it goes and goes, and it's pretty bright, you know. And there's another pocket of that orange. And, you know, this is an industrial area right in front of us. You know, this is the Charleston Harbor. This is connected to the Charleston Harbor. We're like in a big old cove, I guess you could say, of the harbor, the bay. Not too many miles away from here is where I used to be an avid sailor. And I used to sail with my friends. We had a 32-foot cow. It had it was a really beautiful boat. It had a V berth, of course, and a quarter deck, quarter berth of it, and you know, we just had a lot of fun. I'm not saying we didn't have a lot of alcohol. I'm not saying the Army Corps of Engineers didn't have to come more than once and rescue people out of the water, literally, because we were drunk and stupid, somebody would go in when the current was too strong because they were drunk, and then another stupid drunk would go in after them. And literally this happened more than once. The very first time it happened was me, and I never did it again, obviously. And I was raised in the water, you know, I mean, I'm a water baby for sure, so I knew better. I'm just crazy. Back when I was younger, I was one of those people that thought, oh, I'm invincible. I didn't even have that thought. I just knew it was going to be okay somehow, you know. And in my old age, I've kind of lost some of that. And I think it was because I became a mother. And I think I began to listen to things I shouldn't listen to, because I wanted to do what was best. And I felt, obviously, that I was inadequate, right? Or you must feel that way, or you wouldn't change how you do things. But, yeah, I'm the first woman in my family to actually, like, raise her kids, you know. I've got an aunt, she raised her children, but with the help of her husband. I mean, she could come and go as she pleased, and, you know, stuff like that. So I don't want to act like my family just was serial abandoners or something, but they just didn't have what it took. And everybody in my family, most of them are all passed on now. I do have an aunt and a cousin here, or they may not be here. They could be in Florida, because that's where I'm from. That's where I was born, but I was raised in South Carolina. But yeah, besides those two, her and her daughter and her two sons, I think they live in Monk's Corner, but I talked to none of them. And we're all that each other's got left. We were a huge family. My kids don't know what it's like to sit at a great big table on Thanksgiving and Christmas like I do, you know. And don't get me wrong, I'm not sad over the holidays. I'm really not. I've just gotten to a point where my wants, my needs, they're pretty low. I'm pretty easy to please for the most part, you know. And, yeah. I'm looking through the camera lens, and no, you cannot see what I see. There, that is a very famous area for craft right there. Anyhow, famous in my mind. Not famous like citywide, because, you know, I haven't told anybody yet. Okay, shit, I'm so silly. But I'll tell you, of all the changes I've gone through, I do love myself. And now some days I love myself like I'd love any aggravating little child. But there are most days now, recently, where I love myself almost like a new thing, a new experience, you know. And the more that our abilities expand, the more we can love ourselves. And the more we love ourselves, the more our abilities expand. Okay, am I catching this? No. Because I think this might be a normal craft. The only thing, an airplane, the only thing is it's one of those one-lighters. Yeah, it's coming through. Usually when I see those like that, I know that's a regular plane. But not always, you know. There's usually the lights are what attract me. Or I wouldn't know it, because I don't pick up on the energy yet, you know. Yeah, this is the bridge I drive over. I love bridges. I have an affinity for bridges, big time. Always have. And I can remember when I'd see my mom on the rare occasion, she always lived up here on the water and stuff, you know, and I lived in the country. And she'd have to come pick me up, and it was always a long drive, and I would love that drive because I'd get to be with my mom. But every time we come to the bridge, you know, it didn't matter how old I was. She was so scared of the bridge, she couldn't hide it. You know, she was one of those people. And I noticed that her mom is like that. She was really afraid of, like, thunderstorms and lightning. But that's a pretty interesting story there, you know. My mom's mom, look at my light. I call it mine. Nothing's mine. Nothing. But, you know, that's my love right there. I come here just for that. There's little things, and this one I'm noticing is putting off that same energy. Little things in each of my spots that you'd be surprised why I go back. It's probably not the reasons you think, but... Anyway, I know I was about to say something. Oh, yeah, that my mother's mother was literally, as an infant, she was in a not a car carrier, but something like that. And she was literally left on the doorstep right here, not too far from here. There's another body, or another piece of land, a tiny little island called Sullivan's Island. We have Mount Pleasant and Sullivan's Island, and at some point they're all connected, but these are your places off of our beaches again, you know, off of our ocean. And Sullivan's Island is, you're going to have either, there's no middle class. And lucky for her, she got with a wealthy family that was able to take care of her. And for all intents and purposes, she never complained about them. They were lovely people, and she was very, very blessed. She spoke fondly and lovingly of her parents. And what's ironic is she had no mothering skills whatsoever. She was a nice lady. She still is. She's still alive. I know she's almost 100 years old. She's really old now, and she's been in a home for a few years. One of her daughters took really good care of her. Still does, I'm sure. My Aunt Kathy. My mom had a lot of half-brothers. She had one brother, full-blooded brother and sister, and then she had she had two half-sisters, and then there's more, like, that we never... My daddy had children that is kind of like a rumor. I call him daddy because he raised me, but he's my mother's father. My grandfather, but... Yeah, and we never confirmed it or anything. But apparently there's another girl and boy. And, he was in the Navy, and I guess back then that wasn't uncommon. Look at, my mom and dad were together once. He was the guy who started the chess club in high school. And apparently he was #1 stunner because he's still around this Charleston parts, all around here. His nickname is Mr. President. But I didn't even meet my dad till I was 14, and it's a unhealthy relationship for the most part. We just recently got reacquainted again, or reconnected again. There was some years where I was definitely a daddy's girl, big time. He could do no wrong, and believe me, I've been to strip clubs and all kind of stuff with him. There's things that I never saw before until he exposed me to them. So that's what I mean by not the healthiest relationship. And it's cosmic how our lives are, how we get in here. I slipped in through the womb of a 14-year-old girl. You know what I'm saying? She'd been made love to one time and was madly in love with a boy who was in love with all girls. He was a senior, she was a freshman, and or either 8th grade. I'm not really even sure about that. In those days, Charleston was a big community. Like, all the kids, all ages, kicked it together. It's. I'm sure those places are all over the country, right? So, just very communal. A lot of people dating each other because they're all dating each other. But, yeah, my dad was one of the well-known kids, and his brother, they were the brains and the brawn. But they actually had an older brother. My grandma, who's so virtuous, I guess she had a husband before their father and had a son. But, yeah, she's still alive, too. It's weird. It's very weird. And I have like 6 or 7 brothers and sisters. My mom had one other child later on when I was 14. The same age she had me, I was when she had my sister. Isn't that interesting? And then my mom's sister's kids, I'm the oldest, and we're all 5 years apart. Almost exactly. That's also very strange. Something that we realized after like the 3rd kid, and there's like 5 of us in a row. But, there is 5 of us in a row. And then, actually, I think I have cousins in Florida. They're 5 years older than me, too, I think, and they're twins. And I think so there's actually 7. You count them as 1, but there's 2 of them. Anyhow, you guys probably don't even care about stuff like that. I'm just rambling. Don't know why that came up, but I'm glad it did, if it needed to. And I've been having pain in my lower back, which obviously I have back injuries and stuff from my fall and that wreck I had. But I don't know what the issues emotionally are. So, because my understanding is that your pain is due to, that you can have an injury, an accident, and then that creates an opening for stuff that you're holding on to that's not been worked through, to make a home. And energetically, it can become something, you know what I mean? Like something with, something that a healer could actually communicate with, even if it's not with words. So I wish there was like a set thing, like a graph of some sort, like, okay, childhood issues, knees, romantic issues, shoulders, neck, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it works like that, but if it does, please tell me. Anyway, Well, I love y'all. I just realized the damn thing is 15 minutes long. I don't even know if they'll let me upload a video that long. But I'm going to try. Look at the color of that light, guys. Let's see what they look like together.
Oh, ain't that pretty?
Okay, sorry. I hope you didn't get dizzy just now. And I hope that you like the views, even though it's so dark. I'm going to go to the next spot, too. It's Saturday morning, so I don't have to rush back. But look at that orange. You guys, it's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. All right, I love y'all. Mwah.